Mikel Arteta is on the verge of achieving an unprecedented feat in Arsenal's history, with the possibility of doing something never before accomplished by the club in the Carabao Cup clash against Bolton. Additionally, Arteta prevented the departure of a player valued at £20 million last summer, and now plans to offer a new contract. In positive news, Martin Odegaard's injury timeline has been revealed, with Arteta providing an optimistic update on the recovery of Arsenal's captain. Stay with me until the end of the video to check out the latest Arsenal news straight from the Emirates Stadium. But before that, if you're as passionate about Arsenal as we are, don't waste any time and subscribe to our channel right now to stay updated on everything happening with the greatest team in the Premier League. And without further ado, let's dive into today's top news. One of the main criticisms of Mikel Arteta since he took over at Arsenal in 2019 is that he hasn't always maximized the potential of the club's Hale End Academy. Promising players like Patino and Omari Hutchinson didn't get enough chances to prove themselves in the first team and have since moved on to pursue their careers elsewhere. To be fair, Arteta has had a massive responsibility, guiding Arsenal back to their former glory, and during that journey it hasn't always been the right time to take risks by introducing young, untested players into the lineup. Unless of course you're Bukayo Saka or Gabriel Martinelli, two exceptional talents who broke through early and delivered. However, the situation may be changing, as Arsenal now have two new prospects knocking on the door of the first team, Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Both players are considered to have the potential to reach the same level as Saka and Martinelli, and Arteta might soon face a decision about how and when to integrate them into his plans. Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly ready for Bolton opportunity. Miles Lewis-Skelly made his Premier League debut against Manchester City on Sunday, a challenging introduction for the 17-year-old, but he handled it well, even playing out of position at left back, which isn't his natural role as a midfielder. His solid performance showed promise, especially given the intensity of such a big game. In a recent press conference, Mikel Arteta was asked about Lewis-Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri, two young talents many Arsenal fans are eager to see in action, particularly in the upcoming EFL Cup match against Bolton. Raheem Sterling is expected to start, bringing experience to the squad during a game where several changes will likely be made. Arteta seemed to hint that both Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri could be set to feature in the match, stating, "They see the opportunity and want to grab it with both hands. They are great to work with." This suggests that the young duo may be given their chance to shine and continue their development with the first team. Jack Porter might start amid Arsenal goalkeeper crisis. Mikel Arteta provided an update on Arsenal's squad ahead of the EFL Cup clash against Bolton, but remained vague on whether David Raya would be fit to start. Raya was spotted limping out of the Etihad following his stellar performance against Manchester City, raising concerns over his availability. While Arsenal fans are hopeful Raya will be fit for Leicester City's Premier League visit at the weekend, Arteta was non-committal. The situation is further complicated with NATO Cup tied, and Tommy Setford sidelined due to injury. This leaves Arsenal in a potential dilemma, where they may need to turn to 16-year-old Jack Porter for the Bolton game. Porter, a highly rated talent from the Hale End Academy, has built a strong reputation, but starting him in such a match would be a massive challenge for the young goalkeeper. It could be a big test for the teenager if he gets the nod in goal. Mikel Arteta stopped £20 million player from leaving Arsenal in the summer, now plans to offer new contract. Mikel Arteta has just inked a new deal with Arsenal, and now the club is looking to shake things up by offering a new contract to one of its players at the Emirates Stadium. As the season wraps up, 4 players will be heading out the door since their contracts will be up. Jorginho and Thomas Partey are among those whose time with Arsenal is coming to an end, and loans for Raheem Sterling and Neto will also conclude. Despite that, Arsenal is setting its sights on extending the contract of a player whose current deal runs until July 2026. This move comes after Arteta decided to keep him around, blocking any chance of a summer exit during the transfer window. According to a report from Het Nieuwsblad in Belgium, Arsenal is planning to give Leandro Trossard a new contract. The Belgian forward has under 18 months left on his current agreement, but the Gunners are eager to show their appreciation for his steady and impressive performances by offering him an upgraded deal. After the transfer window shut in England, Saudi Arabian club Al Ittihad tried to snatch Trossard, starting with a loan offer that included a mandatory purchase for the following summer. However, Het Nieuwsblad also mentions that Arteta put a stop to any potential departure for the Belgian, who originally joined Arsenal from Brighton for around £20 million back in January 2023. Even though the allure of the big bucks was tempting, Trossard's commitment was evident. Currently, Trossard is facing some backlash after a silly moment in Sunday's 2-2 draw against Manchester City, where he kicked the ball away and earned himself a second yellow card. Despite that incident, the 29-year-old has made a significant impact for Arsenal, especially when coming off the bench. Last season, he managed to impressively net 17 goals in 46 appearances across all competitions. Simon Jordan recently opined that Trossard may be questioning his future at Arsenal after Arteta signed Sterling, a forward who operates in the same areas, despite the fact the Belgian was already struggling to make the starting weapon. The 56-year-old told TalkSport, "This deal for Sterling to go to Arsenal, I sort of scratched my head at it. There are players inside that dressing room like Trossard that will look at it and go, I mean, hang on a second, I can't get in the team and you are bringing another player in. He's not going to take Saka's place, is he?" Jordan raises a solid argument, suggesting that Trossard might turn down the new contract if it means he can secure a regular starting spot at another club. The guy from Maasmechelen had only 18 starts in the Premier League out of a possible 38 last season, even though he consistently delivered strong performances off the bench. So if he chooses to move on to play a bigger role at a different team, it's tough to fault him for that decision. Mikel Arteta provides Martin Odegaard injury update. Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard remains a concern due to an ankle injury he picked up while playing for Norway in early September. The attacking midfielder had to leave the pitch during a match against Austria when an opposing player accidentally landed on his foot during a collision. He seemed to be in quite a bit of pain and was seen on crutches as he made his way back to London shortly after the incident. This raised worries about the 25-year-old's fitness, especially with crucial matches coming up against Tottenham in the North London Derby, Atalanta in the Champions League, and a Premier League showdown with Manchester City. Unfortunately for Mikel Arteta, Odegaard missed all 3 of those games, but Arsenal still managed to navigate through them with some positive outcomes. As the schedule clears up, there's hope that the captain can make a quick return, and Arteta has shared an update on his recovery. Now that Arsenal has a better understanding of how long Odegaard will be sidelined, they can give a clearer timeline for his potential return. Earlier reports indicated that he might be out until November due to his ankle injury, which would mean missing a significant chunk of games. However, Arteta's latest update hints that the midfielder could be back sooner than expected in the coming weeks. Speaking to the media before the EFL Cup match against Bolton, the Arsenal boss said, "I think it will be a matter of weeks, but I can't specify exactly how long. We might get a surprise, but I think it's unlikely he'll be back before the international break." It suggests that Odegaard may be back in action in October, rather than November, with the next international break starting next week. It means he is guaranteed to miss the cup clash with Bolton as well as the Premier League ties against Leicester City and Southampton, as well as the Champions League match against PSG. During Odegaard's time on the sidelines, Arsenal has faced 2 league teams that excel at controlling possession. This situation has shifted the focus to counterattacks and set pieces, somewhat easing the impact of losing their captain. However, the match against Atalanta really highlights just how essential Odegaard is. The team needs that creative flair to break down defenses that are set up to be solid and hard to penetrate. Looking ahead to the clash with Leicester, it's a match that will likely require similar tactics, where individual brilliance can be the key to securing a win. This places a lot of pressure on Arteta, who will need to figure out the best way to fill Odegaard's shoes in the upcoming games. Well folks, those were the main news for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on everything happening with our beloved team, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for joining us, and until the next video.